if everybody's here or not. Take a look at the person, point at one other person in a pair. Okay, just point at one. Look at in a pair. Find a pair and just both of you point at each other. After 3 years, one of you will not be in teaching anymore. If the statistics hold. Isn't that scary? Nationwide, teachers drop out at a horrendous rate. They abandon the teaching profession within 3 years, 50% of them. I don't want that to happen to you. I've had 12 student teachers in 30 years in the classroom, and all 12 of them are still teaching. I asked them what was the best things that you learned that has kept you going, and it's way different than what I thought. And so I had this great presentation already, and I was going to suggest you read all these books, but they didn't mention any books. So you will have time to look at some of those books, but I want to tell you their best tips that they've said that works, and it's kept them teaching. Okay, so who are the student teachers here right now? Because I thought there was going to be like 14 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, super. I'm going to open this to everybody because I thought there's going to be like 14 student teachers, but I guess you're welcome to be here. But I'm right now, of course, and I'm gonna have we'll decide what is the best time to do this. What we're gonna do is just get together and talk if you'd like once a week. So we'll sign up for that, and everyone to do that too. With student teaching, there's two things that my student teachers have. You need self-management. Those are the two things that people say that you need to get you through this stuff. You have to get your students to behave and to pay attention and to be with you like 100% of the time. My favorite thing that what my mentor teacher told me is there is no instruction without discipline. And why am I just writing this up here instead of having a PowerPoint presentation about this stuff? Because you pay more attention when someone creates something right in front of you. You know, I can have all these great slides and stuff like that, but you actually pay more attention if someone's like doing it for you right in the moment. So that's a little teaching tip there too. So you have to have the behavior management stuff, and you have to have tricky ways to get them to behave. And self-management is the biggest thing. Hi. Are you a student teacher or a teacher?
I will be a student teacher.
You will be a student teacher. Okay, you're the 6th one. So there's another one sitting right beside you there too. Good. Of the student teachers, by the way, what languages do you teach, or will you be teaching? French.
French and English.
French and English.
Spanish and English.
Spanish, and you already talked to me because you're going to Ecuador. Excellent. Okay. You're not a student teacher. Okay, I thought you were one. Okay, all right. Oh, okay. Well, this could be helpful too. Okay, so will be in Spanish. on this. Here it is. Sleep. Uh, just at a certain time and it's better just to wing it than to try to work tired, exhausted. You unlimited demands put on you, and I mean, there's in a school there's no limit to what can be done, and you're going to be susceptible to us. That us teachers, we've learned how to harden ourselves to this. It's horrible almost to say that, but it's like you can't help everybody all the time with every single thing. So, what are you going to do? You got to have a life outside of school, and sleeping is a big part of it. So those are my two biggest tips. Okay, for right now, for the beginning of it. With behavior management, I think that the best way, and pretty much the only way to help with student to do classroom management is it's just by connecting with the kids. And it sounds so silly, but don't fall into this. Many veteran teachers have fallen into this schoolmaster approach, and just by being all stern and trying to control kids with disapproving looks. And it's a thing in teacher culture, and maybe it was the way we were raised. I don't know. I mean, you see this probably, right? We have colleagues that do this. That they just, you try to control them with your disapproval. That does not work. And especially I've seen this happen within the last 5 years. It just it doesn't work anymore. I mean, they're immune to that. And so you almost have to control them with other means. You have to control them with your body language and with the way you're making connections with them. Okay? So my oldest student teacher said, what's the biggest help is connections. Like connect with your students somehow. And she said, and she was my with her the whole time, because she only lives like 3 hours away, so we see each other a couple times a year. She says this has been the biggest thing that has helped. How do you make that on to the end of it? Or step we're going to go to, the very last I'll be in here, talking about the passwords. And to me, that is the very best thing. If you can get permission from your cooperating teacher to do this, or you can. A couple people have already. How have you? You?
I went to IWLA conference.
Oh.
Back in October.
Okay.
So I went to a couple sessions where they talked about it.
Was it my session?
No, it was. I think one of them was with Craig.
Oh, okay. Okay. What about you?
I follow some educators on Twitter, and I think someone posted a video about it.
Oh. Okay.
Like just explaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm going to show a piece of this, a piece of the presentation I'm going to be doing at the end of the day. If you can't make it, this is a really powerful piece of it. So I'm going to show you this about how to engage kids at the beginning of class. Recent studies have indicated that if a teacher greets their students as they walk in the door, they get a 27% bump in academic engagement. 27%. That's going from a C minus to an A plus. Think of it like that. Right? I mean, that's a huge difference. Because if kid looks you in the eye and you tell, I noticed you, and I care about you, they're going to pay more attention to you. I mean, that's just all there is to it. You're going to be so dang busy when you start off and figure out how to get organized that you're going to be scurrying around trying to get the next lesson ready, looking at your file cabinet, writing stuff on the board, putting papers out, whatever you're doing. And you'll just let the kids stream in, the bell ring, and you say, okay, and you'll start class. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let them in your room until they say a password to you. And you greet them at the door, and they have to say something to you. Okay? So this, I'm gonna show you this. Well, that's clever. I'm going to show you this quick video of a Spanish 1 class where they. Okay.
Do you have sound?
Yeah. Well, it's plugged in anyway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This up with, and every teacher, every experienced teacher in here, you intend to greet your students at the door, but you don't always do it either. You're just like, I know I should greet the kids, but you're just like too dang busy, And
You start off the year doing it really well, and then you flounder.
yeah, exactly, precisely. If you set it up this way, you have. I'm not going to do this whole presentation. I'll talk about it at the end of the day, but if you set it up, the students will keep it going. Like they won't even come into your room if you train them until they greet you with the password. And so you just go, oh yeah, I need to go over there and go to the door and greet them. So the students will make it work. So for those of you who don't speak, this is an example of a horrible password. Say the secret word. I don't know it. That's right. Come on in. That's not what I'm talking about. This is more what I'm talking about. Oh, wait, hold it. Okay, hold on just a second. That went too quick. Okay, so this is This is a Spanish 1 class. The password is Todavía eres chévere, which means you're still cool. I'm going to encourage one another. There's lots of other things going on here. What I did for you guys, for right now, I just want you to see what I'm doing. Okay, how am I showing friendly behavior to kids? Okay, and what are these interactions like? And then we'll talk about it. Okay, they're all saying the exact same thing. They were waiting up there until I walked in, and they started coming in, and they said, "Oh wait, we're filming this, so we'll do it." Oops. Well. Well, doggone it. Stand right here. He didn't know it. So.
chévere. También. You gotta give me our time. Buenos días, eres chévere. Sí. Bien. También, sí.
Todavía eres chévere.
Sí.
Todavía eres
Tú
chévere.
también.
Eres chévere. Algo así.
Yo sé.
But she just said the same thing. She only got part of it.
¿Dónde quieres que lo ponga? In the past.
I wasn't here yesterday.
What was it before?
Wasn't it? Hold on, give me a second. I really do know it. In Syria?
No.
There was an
Months ago.
Eris, Eris, because I'm here.
Esto, menos dos. Okay. I'll accept the two.
Okay. So, how did you see me showing friendly behavior to these kids in that clip?
You told them they were doing really well.
Yeah.
Like the one you were like, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that kid had never gotten it right, and he wasn't even there the day before. You know? He'd never gotten it right the first day ever, the whole year long. What else?
Smiling, like I noticed a lot of them were smiling back at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just going back and forth between us, you bet. What else? What else? What see? Student teachers. Yeah. Thing. What else?
Encouraging those who had walked in before, for those who didn't know it, just repeat it. For those who didn't know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because some were just a big, just aside, just like it was so cute.
Punitive for those who didn't know it. You gave them the opportunity to listen to
Yeah.
their colleagues that
Yeah.
do it, and then they.
Exactly. It's like you're more like a Walmart greeter than a bouncer, really, to tell the truth. Yeah.
So how did you establish the password the day before?
Yeah, it's the day before. I'll tell you all about it in that session if you can, but or online. I have tons of stuff on my website about it, and I also wrote a book about it.
I
But
didn't know if they posted it on the door.
no, I do it. I tell them on Friday at the end of the class period, and they can write it down if they want. And one girl was even reading it off where she had written it down. That's okay.
If you miss a presentation that you want to see, like you said, if you can't make it,
Yeah.
we're filming. Not we. I'm sorry. They're filming all of them and they're posting them online.
Okay.
So you can check later. Yeah, yeah. Or you can ask me about it too. Yes.
You said you have a website?
I do, yeah. It's BryceHedstrom.com, which I felt really fortunate because that's my name. That's my name. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. What other friendly kind of behavior was I displaying toward them?
Responding back, you also, or you too?
Yeah, yeah. Saying you too. I was touching them. I was. Someone noticed when I went like this to that
You
kid.
made something on his mouth.
Yeah, he had some. It was after lunch, right? Yeah, he'd been walking around for 20, 30 minutes, after lunch. Well, nobody's helping him out, It's like, come on. Like, you're being a friend to them. You're noticing them. Your students go walk through the halls, and they're ghosts. No one looks them in the eye. No one notices them. I mean, the more students than you would think that happens. They never interact with an adult face-to-face all day, which seems weird. It's like, how's that possible? But I know that it happens. And this is a way to keep that from happening. So, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on there. Glad you mentioned that I touched them. There's some recent evidence that comes out that there's a place, spots in your brains in the insular cortex that are connected to nerve endings that are in your arms and your cheeks that only exist to transmit the pleasantness of social touch. That they just cold, anything. It's all touches you in a loving way. It sends a tingle to your brain, and it's in your cheek and in your shoulder and your arm. Does this make sense? I kind of get goosebumps when I do this because in our culture here of the right? You kiss people on the cheek. It's not. I mean, this makes sense the way our bodies are wired, right? And you can hit shoulder, right? Not many other places, right? But you can touch them on the shoulder, the arm, okay? And you can send a little hit of dopamine, the feel-good hormone, and cortisol, the group binding hormone, to them. Lots of them when they come in your door. You know, I mean, this stuff just works like crazy. They did studies. There's another book I don't have with me that I learned early on in my teaching was that, and I've taught this to every student teacher. There's a book called Chimpanzee Politics by a guy named Frans de Waal who studied chimpanzees on this zoo in the Netherlands, and he found out the chimpanzee that was the dominant one in the group was not the biggest and the meanest one. It was the one that touched others the most. That's what politicians do that to you, right, too. Especially in Iowa. Oh, my gosh, right? You guys, you can't turn around without running into a politician here, probably, right? Especially in the presidential years. But they're trying to reach out and touch people, you know? And so if you can figure out a way to start doing that, you can't do it right away, right? But you have to kind of figure out which kids you can do this with, right? Yes?
I saw a video that's kind of like this with the passwords, but the teacher has like a chart where you can choose if you want a high five,
yes.
a handshake, a hug.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which one they want. Yeah. I thought there was, they touch, so they get some autonomy and they get some control over it. I love that. Yeah. No, that's the idea. It helps so incredibly much to do this. This is going to make your classroom run better because in the classroom, I mean, but subliminal kind of level, and you need that. You're not, and you need to. That later in the day, it's the very last session, but. One. So connect with your students. The next one is own the room. Was told to me more than once, like 3 or 4 times over the years, and just recently by a former student teacher who has a PhD, teaches the college level, and he goes, "Oh my gosh!" He goes, "I use this all the time with college students." He says, you have to move around and own the room. Like I can go any place I want in this room. And like you just like, I own this entire room. And so you walk around and you don't just stand in your little tiny square, right? You know, where you're comfortable standing. Okay, kids, today we're going to, you don't just stay in one spot. You just keep moving around. And he says that has helped him more in his career over the last 20 years when he was a high school teacher and now that he's a college teacher even. He said that's so you're kind of establishing that when they come in, and then you're also doing that when they're in the classroom with you. Another one, and all these are behavior management stuff so far, I'll just say ignore. Ignore some things. We mentioned this last night when we were out at dinner, that this is a really positive one. Hi. This is a really good one, that you don't have to be in charge of every single thing in your classroom, right? You have to selectively let some things go in your classroom. And some snarky comments, even some occasional profanity. Because there's nothing worse. There's nothing that makes you more weak, look like you're weak. Than, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? I know somebody said that. Even to the point, like if I was saying and you didn't see who said it, didn't notice it. If you see who threw it, then you get after them, right? But if you don't see who threw it, you're like, all right, who was it? You? Was it you? Because it's like you think you got to be in control of every single thing. Let it go. And this, say this. He goes, I just or some comments. You can't even believe the comments that some college kids will even say. He said, just let it go. Just let it go. You didn't even hear it. And keep on going. You don't have to address everything. You don't have to control everything. So, okay. So, those are the three biggest ones. There's a couple other ones, but I want to make sure we get down to the self-management stuff. And this one, maybe it's just kind of this is in between of self-management. We'll do self-management here so I get confused. The self-management, besides the sleep, that's huge. I'm going to say get out of the classroom. And of course, your cooperating teacher will say, they suggest that you go to games and stuff like that so your face is seen. That's common advice. That's good. But here's some advice that is not normal, that try to figure out how to negotiate this. And say this in a respectful way to your cooperating teacher, right? But look, your cooperating teacher doesn't have all the answers. I have never had all the answers for all my student teachers. So one day every 2 weeks, they could go and visit another teacher for a whole day. And if they had, if it was trouble with a vehicle or something like that, you can see somebody in our building, and I'll recommend someone to see in our building. And I'll recommend good examples, and I'll recommend bad examples. And you can just, if you have a good relationship with your cooperating teacher, say this. Say, I want to see a good example and I want to see a bad example. You don't have to tell me which one's which, but just give me a list of 2 or 3 teachers to go observe, and we'll talk about it afterwards, and then process it through them. What I always loved doing was I would tell them, there's these teachers in this nearby towns. I just want you to go. I want you to go observe them, and take somebody else teaching with you, just whatever. Coordinate it. You guys coordinate it. So you can carpool. But I will give you some names, some other really good teachers, and I want you to go observe. And if they go out to a lot of conferences, even if they go to conferences, they don't know these little subtle little tricks that people are doing in their room. And this can be really, really helpful. It's helped me become a better teacher over the years by debriefing my student teachers. And I said, well, what did they do like when this or this happened? Just explain everything you saw all day. So I want to see 20 pages of notes from you from the other day, and a video if you can do it. But that helps like crazy. Say it in a respectful way to your cooperating teacher. Say, I know that no one has all the answers, and I know that, I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can from this. And they'll say, you're going to get what you need by the experience, young lady, And you say, I know that's true, But I also want to see how other people are doing this, and so I can get good ideas from them and bring them back. And they'll say, I'll share them with you. Like make that a bargaining chip, right? You say, I'll share them with you. You say, so-and-so is known as being a great teacher. And if you don't know some great teachers, there's some here today, right? Network with them and find out where they're from. Now, are you all going to school here in Ames, or?
We are all from UNI.
University of Northern Iowa.
Northern, so where is that?
That's in Cedar Falls.
Cedar Falls, okay.
That's like the Iowa
By
teacher
like
college.
Waterloo.
No, it's a teacher college, okay. All right, so I don't know who's here from there. Maybe we can make an announcement during lunch or something. Like if there's teachers from Northern Iowa, you guys can get together. Because I assume you'll probably be doing your student teaching near there. Is that correct or no? Do you know where?
Kansas.
Oh my goodness, really? How did you get placed there?
My mom was in Kansas.
Oh, okay. Because
For a while.
Oh, all right, yeah.
I only
Yeah,
have
we,
my one school so far. We're going Hampton.
Really?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
from Lawrence.
Oh, well, there you go. You got a connection. Make sure you get with them, okay? Yes.
You know where Waverly is?
Yeah.
It's about 30 minutes north of there.
Yeah.
I only have one right now, and I'm in Hampton. But I don't have my
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's the other way. If you know where
So many
Clarksville
towns
is.
in Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa's got tons of little towns. Yeah. Colorado, they almost always they go just within 20 miles of the university, so they don't have to change their
Well, we used to have
living quarters.
a lab school
Yeah.
Oh.
where all the student teachers, that's where we
Uh-huh.
would fill the requirements right on campus.
Oh,
But
Nice.
they
But then
closed
they
it down.
ran out of
yeah,
funding.
yeah, okay. All right, yeah, make some connections. There's your Kansas connection right there. But yeah, I'll ask Kim if she can announcement for you guys on your behalf. Okay. But yeah, find somebody you can go to. I have other ones that I'm going to share with you, and also these books I'm going to tell you about. But I don't want to run out of time with what are with the experienced teachers here too. What are some things that you want to learn, that you know you're going to need to learn, and that you know that you're needing like crazy? What are some things right now? Yeah.
Mostly
Classroom
classroom management.
management, yeah. Yes?
Different types of like lesson activities.
Mm-hmm.
Because we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lesson activities, yeah. Or CI lesson activities, yeah, specifically. You bet. Yes?
Creating lessons or units over like a book or some kind of reading.
Uh-huh.
So teaching reading, basically.
Yeah. When you say a book, like a novel, you mean?
Well, or even little excerpts. I just don't know how to break it down.
Yeah.
In a lesson format.
Activities that go with all kinds of novels that she's done. CI blogs.
Yeah.
Senior Woolley.
Senior Woolley has some good stuff. Craig Klein has some good stuff. Ginny Hildebrand has some stuff that's really, really good for her books specifically. Yeah, she's
here, right?
yeah, she's from Iowa.
This school.
Is she in this school?
She's in number 10.
I know she's in Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay, she taught here last year.
No, that's
went to a
just
classroom
Zoomed
last
with
year.
her.
She
a
was
couple
here
weeks ago.
presenting last year.
Oh, I thought it was her. And
Oh,
she
okay.
hosted her own CI conference, but it was in the.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video chats with little.
All right.
What else? I think this session is way too short to teach all that. Sessions today, you can get those types of things. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You need those. What else?
I guess I need ideas on how to learn names quickly.
Oh, names. Yes, name. That was another one that I was going to say. Yeah. Yeah.
At least then, I've had one of my colleagues tell me, like, November, and they're like, I don't know their names. I'm like, how? How do you not know their names? That built-in advantage of getting to use target language with learning their names, and I realize that not everybody has that, but you absolutely have to take the time to quickly learn their names, and if I may also
Yes, please. Yeah.
ask them their pronouns as well. A lot of kids that maybe you wouldn't expect you'd make an assumption about what their pronouns are.
Yeah.
It's really, really important to a lot of kids that you ask, even if the answer is what you would anticipate. They still prefer, a lot of kids
But
prefer
would
the
you do that out loud or on like the written piece of paper?
I do that on a contract where I have some personal questions about them, and I say, I'm Madam Gibson, I prefer she and her pronouns, and then I put that on part of their contract, and then the contractual part is basically my promise to take care of any issues that arise that are around the LGBTQA+ community or people from different religious backgrounds or anybody that could be marginalized. And so it's my promise to take care of it, but it's also their obligation to take care of it too, even if that just means letting me know that it happened. So that's how I start things off.
Their names are. There's nothing that's more special to a person than their own name. They love to hear their own name. You can't use their own name too many times, ever. And so here's a way to two ways to do this. This will encourage you. There's this Robin Dunbar. He's an anthropologist and sociologist from England, and he came up with this number. He's figured out that the human brain is organized to know all of the details about 150 people. It's the size that villages have grown to, where they split in, like in kind of primitive cultures. It's an army's unit throughout all of history. It was about 150 men. That's how many men a captain commands, because he's the guy. He's like the officer, and he has to know what every single person in his command can do, and you can know that. It's the size that churches grow to before they split or before they have to have all these other people involved. It's the size that schools are at. When a school is at 150, they don't have to have hardly any rules. My school was 150 when I got to it 18 years ago. This year we went over 1,000. And so you see this, you go from knowing every single kid in the school, and you know who their friends are, what their dog's name is, you know everything about them, to this face in the crowd. You say, hey, they do something in the hall, and you say, well, what's your name? And they go, screw you, and walk off, because they know they're just a face in the crowd now, And so it's a problem. But Dunbar's number should encourage you that your brain is made to remember every single thing about 150 people. If you're a normal, experienced teachers, about how many students do you normally have? Yeah. It's almost, it's not purposeful. It's just like subconscious. that schools have become organized that. There's not one administrator in 1,000 that knows, oh, we do that because of Dunbar's number. No, they know that they do this because that's how many people you can manage. I've taught sometimes during times of turmoil in our former districts, we had about up to 40 kids in a class. At highest was 45 eighth graders in a class. Yeah, can you imagine? And that year I taught an overload too. And so instead of 6 classes, I taught 7 classes. And so I had like 250 students or something. I was just like, I didn't know anybody's name. But if it's under 150, I'm just telling you, you can learn people's names. You can learn all their names. And you can learn any detail about them and remember it. So it's not undoable. And you're a lot younger than we are, okay, student teachers. You can do this. Your fluid memory, your plastic memory works lots better before you get to 30, okay? You can just pick stuff up and learn things quickly. And make it your goal in the first week of school to learn every kid's first class. Right? I'll teach you on Monday, and next Monday we'll have a contest up here. So anyone in this class can come up and stand beside me, and we'll have someone else stand here and point at someone in the class. And I will tell you their name. I'll tell you their first and last name before their friend that they've known since kindergarten. And sometimes I lose. A lot of times I do lose, but they still like that. That I've made this effort. It's like, and I can get a few of them faster than their friend can. And it's a good thing to do. And you may have or something, or just go through the file. Most of your systems, computer systems, you can put a picture there and with them, right? Do that. Okay. That's good, yeah. So.
The stupidest thing that I did my first year out teaching is, it'll be fun, we'll give Spanish names to everybody. I had to learn their English names and their Spanish names. Yeah. That was the stupidest thing I ever did, because some of them would write their Spanish names on their papers, some would write their English names. Yeah. Don't do that. Oh, yeah, no. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. You think it's so cute to have a Spanish name, and then they come to back to school night, and, they go, oh, I'm Ashley's mom. And you're like, oh, you mean, Cisne or whatever, some name. You don't even know the real name. It just puts you in a really awkward situation, doesn't it? Yeah, good point. I have them write their real name like it's in our school computer on their papers, all right? So I know who you are. Photo booth for your college, have them do a photo booth where they have little things and a whiteboard right beside it. Yeah. Nice, yeah. Yes.
So I can't speak for all students, but me personally, I really enjoy doing this whole thing. I think it gets me more involved. Although I think that's more because I have a silly Spanish name. So what's your silly Spanish name? Desconocida. The unknown student. Yeah. That's great. No, if a kid wants a name, or if they have a really strong personality aspect, I will give them a nickname too. But I don't give a nickname to every single kid anymore. My best story about this is used to have every kid would choose their name, and this kid chose the name Lalo. It wasn't his name. His real name was Ricky or something, and he chose Lalo. And at the end of the school year, I was calling on people. I said, Lalo, and he's like, man, why do you always call me that? And then he goes, in fact, a lot of people call me that. It was the name he chose, and he didn't even realize it. I kept saying this random name to him all year. It's not work with every kid, but yeah, if they like it, good point. You bet. So do that. We're running in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Is that right? 55. Okay. Let me show you some of these books, and you can browse at these. I thought, when I was planning this, I said, since I read a lot, and I always tell my student teachers, you need to read this book this week, you need to read this book this week, they would tell me, it was reading all these books that you made me read. That really, not one former student teacher mentioned all my wonderful books. So, but I still think they're important. So I'm going to show you a couple really quick, and you can browse these. These types of book. This one is called Influence. This is written like 30 years ago, but this is the book on how to influence, on how people are influencing you and how you influence people positively. Yes, we're manipulating people, right? When it's evil, it's called manipulation. When it's positive, it's called influence. Okay, we're influencing their good behavior. And what? You can come up afterwards and get them all. Because I'll leave them out here. But I like these books on sales, because salespeople sell. I mean, you're selling your students on being a good student, on participating, on learning your language. You're selling them every day, and they have some good ideas. I mean, it sounds weird, you know. It even sounds weird to me coming out of my mouth that a teacher we're using salesperson techniques, but you kind of are. Okay, this is like the classic one. You know, where he says, learn people's names, you know, make them think it's their idea, all this stuff like this. This was written like 100 years ago, but this is really valuable. I won't point out all these, but this one, Mindset by Carol Dweck. This is how to get kids to work and not give up. We do things wrong most of the time with students. This one, I studied this book with Dr. Krashen a couple of years ago, and he said this was one of the best books he's read in a long time. So this is really good. He says that we don't use the social brain enough in class, and so you're right on saying that I need lessons and activities, because activities that are kind of social in nature but also comprehensible is what you want to do. In this case, this doesn't give those activities, but it says kind of why you must do that. Your brain, you're wired to connect. This one right here, I like this book. All right. This is about reading out loud. I read out loud to my students every single week, one day every week. And they need to hear your voice. That's what makes them connect with you. And this is like how to do it. So there's lots of other ones. You can look at all these and take pictures of all of them, whatever you want. This is by an FBI agent on how to get people to like you by your body language. You know, the FBI agents get people to like them, trust them, and tell them all their secrets, right? You can do this with kids that don't like you and don't like school and don't like teachers if you start using good body language with them. Like if it works with criminals, when they're talking to an FBI agent that can put them in prison, he can still get them to confess by being like good body language with them. All right, I love this stuff. So anyway, I thought all this would really help a lot. I have a colleague. She works in Denver, and we're working together to do some things like this. She wants to do something like this also, and so this is her information. She started a website. Her name is Connie Navarro. And yesterday, when I tried this on one of my computers, this worked. On the other one, it didn't. So, and I was sure it's CI Coaching. With all is one word, Connie.com. And she has some great ideas. She was the president of the Colorado Conference of Foreign Language Teachers right after I was the president. And we worked with a lot of things. And somebody that knows how to coach new teachers is her. She works at the Denver Public Schools. Her job is a peer coach, and so she observes teachers. She's observed tens of thousands of lessons of CI teachers in Denver over the last 7 years. And she's seen good and bad. She knows what people are doing. And so she has all this material on her website for free right now. And she can go there and download it. And she wants to start a group too with people. So I also, if you... if you can get on a list, I will start a Zoom group, and teachers can do this. Student teachers to ask type questions we're doing here that we just have time to do, like activities and things. We'll do this once a week this next semester, okay? And so you can write from the best way to get a hold of you. These books, and this is the same book that we have out there, but I just have these extra ones. So if you have a dot on the back of your chair, you get one of these books. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, but if you don't teach Spanish, yeah.
I do, but if one of the students.
Oh, yeah, give it to one of the student teachers. Yeah, you have one?
I'll take one.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, shucks. People who don't speak Spanish kind of. I didn't get near through all of these points, but that'll get you started. Sleep, ignore behavior, move around and learn their names. That's pretty good, right? And go observe other teachers. Just those enough will be a good start.
Sorry, under self-management, I would also say do something that's not school related.
Yes.
Because you get bogged down in school.
Yeah. You have to live outside of the classroom. You betcha. That's a good one. We're actually done. So if you want to talk afterwards, I'll be at my book table, or email me and I will answer your emails. No, I'm not kidding. I do. I will answer your emails. If I get a ton of them, I always answer them. So it's brycehedstrom.com, and my contact information is on there. Okay, I want to help you with this. I mean, this is my passion. I'm tired of patching up. Teachers have been teaching for 20 years, and they're just like, this isn't working anymore. What do I do? You know, it's like, I'm not tired of it, but I'm just like, keep on doing that. You know, I want to help the brand new teachers, so you don't have to unlearn stuff. You know, wouldn't it be better to start off fresh without having to, unlearn all these things that we did? I wasted a lot of years.
Me too.
My students didn't like me, and they didn't like Spanish for about 10 years of my career, right? There's a whole generation, you know. Thank you very much for your attention. Yes. So.
So I have a Google Doc of CI activities with a lot of links. If anyone wants it. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so
super. Could you
Okay.
share that with me?
Type it in. Yep.
Thank you.
So I have to share a joke.
Yeah.
I just handed out
Okay.
joke books. But this is from Mexico. We have a lot of friends down
Okay.
there.